Good morning, everybody. It's Marty, the JavaScript party. Buddy Rhett is in the living room. It is Thursday. It is cold outside here in Marietta, Georgia. It is the 22nd of January. It is, according to my weather, my little button here, everything takes forever. It's taking forever right now. I'm guessing it's probably like 30 degrees outside, would be my guess. Oh, 42 degrees. So actually have not even stepped outside. Normally I will take the dogs for a walk by this point, but they do have, it is just wet and cold outside, and the dogs do have, their little buddies are coming over today, so they'll have someone to play with. Anyways, man, this is taking forever, but basically, when I was working through these things, I had found that I have when we have our meshes, so let me reload this. When we have our meshes, so we have our ThreeJS visualizations, so we do this, and then if we go and we look at our console logs, we sort of console log the full description of this entire visualization. And if you go into the mesh, basically we have our ST animations in our mesh, and then we have a full-blown animations. We also do have an animation, standalone animation, which is the exact same one. It's number 7. And what I would rather this be is an ID for the animations, not the full-blown animation. I do think when I'm like exporting and importing, it'll become very unwieldy. Either I need to have like not have the list at all, or I need to have a separate list, and then when you change values, like on if when we export this and we're in a .csv or a .json file, I want to be able to just change the number. I think it'd be almost impossible to have two different groups, but like a list of all the animations, and then also have the specific instances of the animations on here, because what if I change this to rotate Y, right? But it's still ST animation 7. How do I resolve which one is right? The one that's in the list of animations, or the one that was updated manually? I think it's just would make a lot more sense to have these. So anyways, I think I was thinking that I hadn't done anything in entities, but we do have our animation service in entities. And we've sort of um, um, this is an update property animations. We've sort of kind of like we have like an architecture in which basically there's like an entities, and inside of entities there's like an ST, like in our services, and then like if we look in camera and we go look up here, we have like a dictionary. Nope, where are you? This ST camera dictionary, which really shouldn't be an any. This should be like a base dictionary. So, but for right now, I have this as an any. As we've kind of gotten, time has passed, we've gotten better and better and better. And so as you look through the existing code base, you'll see different degrees of how mature the application is. So you could tell we hadn't really come up with this scheme here to define our dictionaries yet. But so we have our animation, and I know we want to have a dictionary. So I'm thinking that should be an ST animations. I don't know where animations are created right now. I think they might be created in here, I hope. Yeah, create function, add animation. Maybe this is, but see, we add an animation, but we never add it to our dictionary. We actually associate it on that. Do we do that anywhere else? So here we do create animation for count. So we kind of have two different places. Maybe we probably should. Does this add animation? I wonder if this even gets used anymore. I bet it doesn't. I'm gonna add an F to the beginning of this just to see if anything breaks in the. Okay, so we don't even use add animation anymore. So let's go ahead. I wouldn't be surprised if I end up renaming that create to add, but for now I'm just going to comment this out, which will definitely cause, I would think would cause a breakage in our unit tests. I guess if I'm going to do that, I should. All right, so that's good. Okay, so basically over here in create visualization or create animation for count, this is where we end up creating our different animations. And so this would be where we would add it to a dictionary in here. So that's good. I was, it's been a while, so I had no idea. You see, we couldn't inject our renderer service. And I have to admit, I'm a bit, well, okay, so let's just go look at ST renderer service real quick. I'm just curious now. All right, so let's go take a look at this renderer service, go to definition, and see it takes the animation service. So that's the problem, is you can't take a animation service. Two services can't accept each other directly, or you'll get a 200 feed, what is it, cyclical runtime error. Yeah, injecting this causes a browser runtime error. So that is definitely something that we're going to have to deal with, but probably not now. And I don't even really know exactly how to create a bug for it. But how do I do this? Let's go into render service. That one I'm sure has a. Okay, so I call it like animation dict. Okay. And I think making it private makes sense. Private animation dict. And it should be ST. Because it's a dictionary of ST animations equals. Let's see what we got here. That works fine. So basically what we want to do is we want to get away, we want to be able to use this service in order to get an animation. So, but before we do that, when we create our animation in this create animation for count, right here is where we want to add this to our dictionary. And animations, just to be clear again, and I know I keep saying this over and over again, but I guess the biggest reason I keep saying it over and over again is because I'm trying to get better at expressing this, because this happens all the time. But animation was probably the very first entity that we actually like specifically created. And we didn't have any of these concepts of like dictionaries and all that yet. So ST animation dictionary, and it's like ST animation ID equals animation. All right, so now we are creating an animation object. So we have several references to this animation. So that means that unless they're all deleted, it won't be deleted. It won't be made available to memory. Okay, so now what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? Okay, so basically when we go to create this animation for the count, we get it, right? We get our animation back. And I'm guessing that is where okay, so I'm trying to think the best way to do this. And I think the best way to actually do this will be to go into our interfaces. I don't know about this. I feel like there's an 80% chance this is a really good idea. ST and animation and ST animation interface and wrong one. We want to go to the guess 3. We want to go to the mesh interface. And in here, see, we say this is a list of ST animation, but it should be animation IDs. And then these should be an array of numbers. Now, everything should break, right? That's what we're expecting. If you, depending on your confidence level, you may have wanted to do a quick commit before that since everything was working at that point. Because there is a possibility we're going to have to like just bail on all of this. But let's see. So I guess the thing you want to look at is this big X in error. It looks like there are 3 of them. Okay, so here it's saying that, okay, so here is a good one. This is an easy one to fix. So it's just saying, hey, when you go ahead and create this, you're not animation IDs. Like we just set up a blank one. And so that's going to be the easiest one to fix. So now do we have 2? Maybe we still have 3. Maybe we even have more. Trying to get better at sort of reading this. You know, it's like right now it's kind of gibberish to me. I'm trying to, but I know there's actually valuable information there. Okay, so here is the new one. Did you mean ST animation IDs? Okay, so here in our app menu component, this is where we add it. And dot ST animation ID. ST animations, and then this is IDs. And I cannot even begin to explain that, like, what I'm doing now, right now, just going through and just fixing these things, that does not exist without TypeScript. TypeScript is what makes that possible. And this task in and of itself was damn near impossible a few years back. Before type, this used to be like, well, there's things like you'd have to refactor, and it would take like 2 to 3 years for all the different bugs to finally show themselves. Because JavaScript's just so forgiving when it comes to not having exact names and properties and stuff. All right, it does not exist on ST mesh line 107. Okay, so that's an old one, right? Yeah, here we go. So there's one. Oh, so we only have one broken now. So let's go to here. Now there's, I guess it's probably create animation function for ID. Okay, animations. Okay, so here we get a list of animations. But we no longer have a list of animations. But it looks like all we have to do is get a list of animations. So let's do this, const. So we are in animation service. Oh, so this actually even has access to this. So, okay, so let's see, const animation IDs is equal to st mesh dot st animation IDs. Okay, and then I guess we can use the map, right? We could just say, hey, I would like you to map. Can we do that? I don't know. Here, let's do this. Let's comment this one out just for now. Probably end up deleting it. And then I'm going to say st animations. Which is of type st animation array. And we'll make it equal to an empty array. And then we'll change this to st animations. All right, now really what we want to do is we want to animation IDs dot map, and then so quit complaining. So I've never done this before, so I'm pretty excited. Animation ID. And then do we just return? Dictionary animation ID. Did that work? Was it that simple? I've never actually just used the map before. Like I've used the map before, but never like that where I just type it in and I don't worry about add viz, change. Oh man, that was so much easier than I was expecting. It's only 8:30. All right, so I think that is everything. Okay, so let's go ahead and get rid of that. So basically, that was simple. That was like one of the easiest things ever. Let's go F12. Let's see what we got here. So if we look in mesh now, we have an array of IDs instead of the actual full-blown animations. And I was thinking it was going to be really hard to fix this code, but apparently not. So all we had to do is add a little shim that mapped our IDs to there. And since we were in the same service that the dictionary exists in, there was no drama around injecting things and all that. It's kind of weird. It's like I used to always get that cyclical injection thing, like it was just a matter of time. And now that I sort of understand what causes it, I don't really, I'm not working on the skills on how to fix it because I just never get myself into that situation. But that is a situation that comes all the time. So, um, make unit test unusable. Makes the unit test unusable. Oh, because of the console log. And that is not true anymore. So this used to, I think this used to happen like every 60 times a second forever until we figured something else. Um, but see, we don't ever get that console log anymore. So we used to get it all the time when we were trying to. We have a renderer and we couldn't figure out how to get it deleted. It would just persist. Anyways, let's see. Okay, so I think that looks good. And I really thought this was going to be a 2 or 3 session effort. It's like a 10-minute effort. I don't think we've had any go the other way around. It makes me nervous whenever I can't guess how long something's going to take. Yeah, I guess we want to delete that now. Um, Whenever I can't guess how long something's going to take, it always makes me a little nervous. Um, but if it only is short, like sometimes it's a good sign. It's a bad sign if it's always um, like sometimes you think it's going to take an hour and it takes 2 weeks. Sometimes you think it's going to take an hour and it takes 2 minutes. But if it always just takes 2 minutes, that's probably a really good sign. Um, do we want? I guess I want that line. Yeah, that looks good. All right, so let's go ahead and commit this. This is going to be video, what, 373, if I remember correctly? And I hope that's right. Yep, this is videos 373. Holy crap, my brain is functioning. I'm on fire today. Add bot. Git commit. Video 333, 373. I guess before I do this, one of the things I wanted to try is just to, let's see. npm. It's npm run test. So if we have 100% unit test coverage and all the tests pass, then I won't do any unit testing. But I don't think we will. I think we'll have some broken unit tests. And then I'll make a code only commit. Then I'll do a unit test only commit. But before I do a unit test only commit, I'll make sure that the end-to-end tests are broken, which I don't think they will be. So then the unit test will be the super commit. And then we will definitely be able to say that like testing, like for this effort, testing took like a fraction of what coding took. And the last effort, it definitely took a teeny tiny fraction of what coding took. So as I've gotten better at testing, it is definitely like like when I first started, it was taking like for every hour of code I was writing, I was probably doing like literally 10 hours of test code. Now it looks like I've absolutely inverted that. So, and I would say that even coding has gotten faster on its own because even if you exclude like the testing, because I don't have to, like I can just lean on the test. Okay, yeah, so the unit test did not work. So let's go ahead and do a 373. This is a code and it's issue 19. And refactors mesh to have array of IDs instead objects, animation objects. 373. And now I do not want to push this until we're sure. And so let's go back and look at our unit test. So would not even compile. Let's see. It looks like we have like 6, like a whole bunch of errors. Okay, so let's go into this one. Okay, so yeah, this whole thing is screwed up now because I have to get. So this whole idea was that, hey, when you create animation function for ID, you're going to get like yeah, the whole concept is changed on its head now. We are no longer just as a side effect to creating a scene, just throwing in an animation. So now we have to let's go ahead and create an animation. ST animation. And we are in the animation service spec, so that's cool. ST animation :ST animation. And let's go ahead and make this lowercase. I think this is called camel case because you can imagine the camel is drinking water. So the very first letter is lower. And then this one over here is Pascal case. The first letter is capital. And then there's like another one called kebab. I think you have dashes in between them. So we have our service. This is the service. We're an animation service spec, so service is the animation service. It's just the way it was set up at the beginning. And then I think it was create animation for count. And we'll give it a count of 0. And then basically we're going to give this ST animation ID. Okay, so we don't want this. So we could create an animation. I don't know for what reason, but we could create one that like in line the way I did here, where we create the animation, but and then I don't think we really need the second one. And then phones. All right, so that should take care of one issue. I don't know what to do. I guess we should run this one more time. I know this one looks like it should be a simple one. And I'm wondering if this hash stuff, and I ended up making things way too complicated. ST animation IDs. I don't know if that's going to pass, but service.add animation. So we don't have this anymore. What we have is service. I think I'm like a little bit on the edge here. Create animation for count 0. And that should get us our animation ID. And then don't know why the ST animations have service add animation Oh, okay. Back then we would give it the whole mesh. Okay, so now we don't do that. What we do now is stmesh dot stAnimationIDs dot push. So this ends up being a bit of a any ID one, and then IDs. A bit of a silly test now because um, okay, what's the problem here? Hmm. Oh, does this return a whole? I guess it returns the whole ST animation, but we only want to add the ID. There we go. And then I don't know if we need these anymore. Well, we kind of need this one. This is our actual test. Right. So I think, yeah, these are all gone now. Let's go ahead and start a new one. 844. Man, it is super foggy outside. Let's see. Oh, well, so the unit tests were able to compile now. So that was all the fixes just to get it working again. Let's see if we still have 100% coverage. Well, I guess they're all passing, and then we have 100% coverage. So that was it. We did not need to do much more than that for our unit tests. Let's go look at our differences. We're done with this, and we're ready for our unit test commit. I think it is a lot cleaner too. I think that creating the way we're doing it now is way, way superior. Just because I think we have a lot more control. It's more in control of the user. Um, and I don't, like I said, oh, before I run unit tests, I want to run end-to-end tests, just see if anything fails. Because if not, this is a super commit, and we are ready for the next one. npm run Cypress open. All right, npmx Cypress open. This one always takes a little bit, but I don't think anything is going to break on the Cypress side. If it does, we'll do a commit, and then we'll focus on fixing that in the next commit. But right now, it seems like everything should be fine. I mean, like, the only thing that really I thought was at risk was like the code that gets run every 60 times a second. The animation request frame code, like that seems like that. I think that's better. Let's see, that's how it was configured. And then start EDE Chrome. Oh man. And home. I do feel like it's kind of maybe going to get really important to sort of make coding software. I think it needs to become a hobby again. Um, it's a very, very fun hobby. Writing code is a fun hobby. Um, but no one does it because it paid. It pays so well, or it used to pay really well. I don't know that it pays well anymore, and I don't know how it's going to work for entry level. But the problem is it's a really good basic skill set to have is how to code things. Um, but I feel like there's a very good chance it's going to get lost. And then, and honestly, like if you would have said in the 1950s, if you just when I used to drive Uber, I used to I would pick up people who used to be mainframe coders, and they weren't just mainframe coders. I mean, these people like built entire factories that could do things all on with Steam and mainframes, and they would all these gears and stuff changing. It would do this whole manufacturing thing, and like you would never have guessed that was going anywhere, and it's gone. I mean, it is truly gone. We have like this little museum here in Kennesaw, and inside the museum, it's basically built around a train um, that's got kind of a fun history to it. But inside there, they actually have a whole factory that was run on Steam and stuff like that. And I don't think there was a mainframe involved, but like those, that's just gone. And that was a very effective way. All right, so it looks like we are good. That was a very effective way of getting things done, and we just sort of abandoned it. And they didn't have very many people working on that. It was mostly just all these little Steam things connected up to each other. Okay. One thing I really like about this is that you don't have to really think, what happened to my commit? Yeah, there we go. Um, so super. I guess I want to put dash unit test. And then we didn't have to do git add dot. I do that all the time. Like at work, I do that almost every time. Git push. All right, I still have 5 minutes, so we finished the whole issue. I think the next one is going to be a lot harder, though. And then space and time. And then compare pull request. I'm going to take this and make it bigger. All right, so we're going to assign it to myself. I'm going to create it. And then 6 files changed. That's pretty. That works out pretty well. There was 2 commits. Super commit, conversations, and then merge it. We're going to confirm the merge and delete the branch. That I used to save every branch. It is just crazy how fast you end up with like thousands of branches, and it's kind of useless. Okay, so now the next one is we want to re-architect animations. Um, and it wasn't as bad as I thought it was because here, let's do this. Assign it to ourselves. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was because um, I see that I actually already have this already exists, and we already ended up doing that. Set up the dictionary. Okay, I don't know where that happens, but I'm guessing that's already separate. Or it kind of feels like that actually is mixed in with our ST animation service. Yeah, yeah, actually, I felt like there was two animations. But anyways, let's go ahead and pull this down. And I got 2 minutes to do analysis. Okay, so right now, let's go ahead and close others. Okay, so we have our entities. So this is our ST, right? So at the very least, I think I want to rename this to ST animation. Wait, so inside of ST, okay, yeah. I don't know if this is necessary, but it kind of seems like I need an animation service in here. And that this stuff, this animation dictionary, all that kind of stuff needs to go in that animation service. And then this, we have a whole animations. What's under UI? See, this seems like where I put like anything that's like actually interacting with the browser directly inside of UI. So it kind of seems like I need an animation service in here, a UI animation service that handles that. Now, if I remember correctly, inside of our app component is where this is all the, okay, see, I have this platform service. Where is that from? Okay, so platform service, oh, is in utilities and positioning. Okay, so that's kind of weird because this is actually, let's go back here. Platform, what do we use platform service for? Do we even use platform service? Oh, there we go. Okay, all this does, okay, so all this does is set up events. Okay, set up animation drawing loop. That is this thing, this layout loop, request animation frame handler, this layout loop. And then this animation visualizations layout. Go to definition. What does that one do? Okay, so this actually is the one what push that sets the layout of things. So like the position on the screen. Oh, it's 8:56. Time to go. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Bye.